Hey guys, today we got a 2022 Honda Civic sedan, and we're going to pull the front and the rear door panels off. Now, pulling off the door panels on most of these Civics, these newer ones, are a piece of cake. This one, a little bit different on the 2022. Now normally, what I do when I'm pulling panels, it's because I got to tint the windows and I got to get behind the seal. And normally on these Civics, all I do is pull back on here and I can pull that seal off. I don't even have to pull the door panel off on the front or the rear, which makes the tint job much, much easier. I realized that on this 2022, I can't do that. I have to actually remove the whole door panel to get this seal off. And the only reason I have to do that is because when I try to put it back on, it doesn't want to line up with that rubber piece that's right here, which is basically the piece that I'm trying to take out. So I got the other side off. So what happens is when you pull back on here, if you try to pull back and pull the channel out, you can get the channel out, but then when you try to put it back in, you can't get it to hook back in here correctly. So the style is a little bit different than the older Civics, and I believe this one also has it might even have some clips there. Yeah, I think it has like fasteners right up here. And I don't know if the other Civic had that before, but just to line it up, I tried to do that on the other side and pull it back, and I honestly, it's real sharp there. Like, you can really almost like cut your fingers on it because there's like some sharp pieces, ridges behind here when you're grabbing it, where on the older Civics didn't have that. So to make this easier, I definitely want to show you how to remove the door panel. There's only one screw in here, which is behind this switch, okay? You have to be real careful with this switch here. Now, best way to do it is kind of get under here with a little thin screwdriver and then get a plastic tool and then just kind of work your way over here and get the switch out. The back ones, same thing. The switches come off a little bit easier in the back because they're shorter. These ones, because they're a little longer, it feels like you're going to break the switch. So you definitely want to, when you're pulling on it, you're going to want to get under here with another plastic tool and kind of pull in both sections. You don't snap the switch in half. We don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in, and then I'll show you how to do it, and let's get started. So I'm using a couple of plastic tools in this job. I'm going to use a real thin screwdriver first, a little kind of we call them a bone tool, and then like a little flat, hard plastic tool as well. So what you want to do first is you want to get on this side and try to get underneath this switch. And be super careful. You do not scratch anything. This is super important. It's really hard to get in here. But, just take your time and be patient with it. And then once you kind of lift it up, you're going to get one of your other plastic tools and get underneath it. I'm going to switch to the other side because hopefully I don't block your view. I'm going to try to get you in here as close as I can. You want to kind of get right there. Right on that back side, and then just kind of get your tool, get underneath. And then once you got under here, then you want to take your other plastic tool. This one's a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to use this one to try to pry up. Just like that. And then just kind of stuck in here. You want to kind of get under here. And it has these fastening clips right there. So you kind of want to work it like that. Like that. And then kind of work it. And then once you get down to here, pull up on that switch. Just like that. Okay? And then there's just a harness under here that we need to unplug. The harness. Push down on the tab. Pulls right out. Okay? And then next, there's a little Phillips screw right here. Go ahead and take that off. There. And then next what we want to do is we want to try to get under the panel here. Now these clips are also a little bit tighter than the other Civics. So you do kind of have to pull a little bit harder. And the best thing to do I've found is that you kind of want to pull real fast and hard. You don't want to kind of slowly pull it like most panels. I don't know why. If you pull it slow, it has a tendency for the clip to break. Don't ask me why. I did one way. I broke one clip on it. I'm going to have to replace that. I have special clips for these, so I have no problem with that. But the back door I did a little different. I did it faster and it came right off. So, you know, you just kind of got to get a feel for some of these things when you're working on them. So you want to find a spot under the door and then start working from there. There is like a small little opening here. Once you kind of get under there, start pulling, and kind of try to move to where you feel like it's tight and you feel like there might be a clip there. Just kind of pull on it. Now a lot of the clips might come off on this one. Most of these Civics, I mean, they're super easy to remove. See, like that. I pulled these off faster, I pulled these off slower, and I know these clips popped off of the panel. Hopefully they didn't break. So then when you get to this point here, you're going to want to pull a little bit because there's clips here too. There you go. And it pulls right off. And I was right, look. That clip came off right there. It didn't break. This one didn't break either. So I'll go ahead and remove those. And I'll go ahead and put them on, I'll put them back on the door. Now, I tried to get my door panel tool under there on the other side, and I just couldn't get it in there. I was kind of having a hard time, so I just used my hand instead. And sometimes that's going to happen in these cases, because essentially what this tool does is if you can get where the clip is, just go like that, it comes right off. But I just couldn't really get in there, and I didn't want to scratch any of the paint or anything like that. So we'll just take these clips, and we'll just put them back on. And luckily none of these broke. I carry a lot of these Honda clips because I work a lot on these cars, and believe it or not, you can be as careful as you want. A lot of these will break. And so like I was talking to you earlier about this here, like when you're grabbing right here, it feels like you're going to cut your fingers as you're pulling back. The other Civics didn't have that. Also on this one, it has these little spots right here. There's one right there. There's one over here that have to go in. So normally when you pull back on the other panels and you go put them back on, it's just snap, 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 you're done. So when I tried the other side, I tried pulling back, trying to get the rubber piece out, and I was having a hard time, and I didn't want to break anything. So I said, you know what, let me see if I can put the panel kind of back on there like what I just pulled. And I couldn't line these up. I couldn't line this, like maybe one or two of them, and then one of them wouldn't line up, and the panel was kind of looking like it was starting to get warped. I didn't want to do that. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to pull the whole panel. And I took it off, I went to put it back on, and it snapped right on really easy. So this is an easier way to do it. If you don't want to do it this way, that's up to you, man. I'm just trying to give you guys tips so you don't run into any problems on these cars. Because time is money when you're working on these cars, and you don't want to have to, you know, slow down because, you know, you're having an issue with this. So, give me 1 second. Let me set up for the back. I'm going to go and pull this rubber piece too in a second. Just give me 1 second. So on this, all you got to do, if you want to pull these off, you just kind of bend it away from you, and it comes right out. And then it goes right back in. Now the back doors are similar in what we need to do. We still need to take the switch off, same way. There's a screw under there, and we're going to pull all this off. Now, and that's good. You know, same thing as the front, so you're not going to have a hard time with that. If you do want to pull the rubber piece off, though, you are going to have to pull this trim off because the rubber piece goes under the trim, so you want to pull out of here and then pull that out. And I will show you how to do that because I'm going to go in here and show you this anyway. So let me go ahead and bring you in, and let's get started. So we're going to do the same thing, guys. We're going to come in right here from the side and kind of like just try to get in right under that little rubber, under the panel here. And kind of get your other panel under there, your other tool. Try to get this to come up a little bit. And you could use any kind of plastic tools on here. I'm just using these because this is what I have. Try to create some pressure there. Push that up. And then kind of just work your way down as you're pushing up on the switch. And we're going to do the same thing we did on the front doors. Is we're going to try to get under here and try to get our door panel tool under here. Just kind of get under here and then pull quickly on there. just kind of pull and lift up a little bit. And then right behind here, there is a little harness under here, behind here, speaker harness. So it's this harness right here